We did it right. We did it right. Credit acceptance was trying to finesse me, high interest payments. No, I couldn't let them get me caught in front of the house inside Mercedes Benz GLE, but something wasn't right. I had to do it right. Yeah. Sent the email with a proof, then I filed a suit. Yeah, judge saw the evidence, then they called the truth. Just like that, gone. They settled quick, title on the way, and the debt was wiped away. And I ain't even had to pay. No, push the whip with a drill. You know I got the stick. You know I say the case. You know that they legit. Hey, proceed be the way. If you know how to play, get the win, drop order, then you get on out of the way. 50K right away. Thomas did it right. Now these haters gotta say that Thomas did it right. Go real talk about what to do, but Thomas did it right. No guessing about the law, cause Thomas did it right. Interest rates high, but Thomas couldn't stand it. They tried to take advantage, couldn't put him in a panic. Yeah, little with the knowledge, running through his pockets, funds charging through the roof. Feel like Houston on a rocket. I landed in the booth, litigation like a pro. Tell me what you say, guru filing lawsuits, but never wanna pay. Who bad is me? Balance sheet in the courts, casualty, might litigate or majesty. Y'all ain't even have his mid, going in for the win. In this game you sink or swim, undercurrents pull you in. On cap from the brim, better take it on the chin, on the chin. Arbitration got his truck, caught him faking, sent his shots with the cases running laps, round these places. They ain't try, didn't fight, through the bait, didn't even bite. Guru talking like they know, but the law can't even sight. Got a Benz out the deal and then pay the full price. When they talk about Thomas, gotta say he did it right, did it right, did it right. Brothers who didn't fight, got Benz out the deal, never paid the full price. Did right, did it right, went to court, went to fight. Over 50K in debt, right away, Thomas did it right.
When you see all the receipts that I drop on a daily basis, all the progress in these court cases, what makes you think anything over here in the Supreme Elite team is misinformation? What makes you think that?
You're rocking with the best.
What makes you think anything over here is misinformation? I mean, we got an ex-SEC attorney, 27 years, decorated career, stamping me. We got an ex-Federal Reserve examiner, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, sits on the IFSAB board, stamping me. CPA, 25 years, stamping me. And that's one of my dear friends. Those are his friends. Access that he has, stamping me. I done dropped videos, clips, showed you results, showed you documents. What more do you need to see? And this is what I mean. Showing receipts in this space is a taboo. Nobody wants to really see a receipt because everybody has a certain belief on how it should go. And there's a certain thrill about chasing it, hoping to get there. So when you see someone that reached the mountaintop and settled with a multi-billion-dollar company, one of the largest auto lenders in the world, one of the world's largest multi-billions, settle with them pro se, that was totally different from what they believe. They hate it.
Thomas settled up the case. Big checks from credit accepting. Thomas settled up the case. You see the gavel and he rests. Thomas settled up the case. Big checks from credit acceptance. Thomas settled up the case. You see the devil and he rests, Thomas been lit, call him lit together. He been in the court with the litigation. Thomas known in the court like Jordan in the 80s. He did his research, had to plan it like her name is Katie. He put his foot on their neck like a foot fetish. Thomas is not a credit rookie, call him credit veteran. They try to throw a lion on him, but he couldn't catch him. The whole team did a dance, it's the credit stepper. He caught a chapter and a judge and they had to settle. We ain't even been to court, they just had to settle. We ain't even have a fort, they just had a level. On the ground with the gavel, we just had a wrestle. Yeah, Thomas not a rookie, this a vet, call him Top G. He a vet, top gun, he ain't never lost. Thomas know how to finance, he the top dog. Yeah, he been on the block, he is not a block. Thomas settled the case. Big checks from credit acceptance. Thomas settled the case. You see the gavel and he rests, Thomas settled the case. Big checks from credit acceptance.
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
It's getting about that time. It's getting about that time. It is getting about that time. Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it getting about that time? For class 2 of SETU. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Class 2 of SETU. Now, we are starting at 6:15. And hold on, y'all. I'm talking to a client right here. So we asked to get the case continued, and the judge agreed for us because we just needed more time to put the scalpel together. The lawyer objected to it, but the judge, they usually allow these things. I won't call it, oh, that's a win. You know, everybody be like, oh, it's a win. Every little thing is a win. Oh, I got a judgment set aside. Oh, that's a win. That's a win. It's typical procedure. Both sides are entitled to continuances and judgments set aside because courts like to settle things on the merits of their cases unless you reach a settlement.
You're rocking with the best.
We have a lot of finance companies. We have a lot of finance companies. They're on the run right now, and I really don't like that. And most people will be like, well, why wouldn't you like that? Well, the reason why I don't like it is because you know, I like to win things on the merits. I don't like to win off technicalities. I like to win basically telling the judge, okay, April 23rd, got you. Basically telling the judge, bringing our claim. This is why I love to bring the claims. I don't, it's not that I can't do it. I mean, I do it very well, but I really hate being like defense. Like, I don't know how many times I got to stress this, but just the whole just defend. If you're being sued, do this. If you're being sued, the question is, it should never get to that point where like you have to defend from being sued. Now, if you're making, I tell everybody, if you're making the determination to stop paying for whatever reason that you have, you can't stop paying and then sit back, wait to get sued, and then call yourself trying to defend. I don't believe it's logical nor in your best interest. So since I believe people are more smarter than what the documents that they submit entails, what I believe happens is they stop paying, they start sending administrative documents and processes in, and then that doesn't work. And then that's where you see it starts to go down, get off the rails. But The question that I have is, why would you stop paying on any obligation when you can't prove to the courts from a legal standpoint why you stopped and why you're no longer entitled to pay? That is not a question that is easily answered, because one of the things that we went over in class 1 is SETU, and another thing that we will focus on again tonight and rehash before we move on is that courts don't view contracts the way we view contracts. In many cases, when you are the defendant and they're suing you, their allegations are you signed an agreement, you agreed to pay, you did not pay, and you already knew what we could do if you don't pay. Regardless of, well, you're not this and you're not that and you're not this and you're not that and you can't do this, regardless of that, because the problem is you wasn't the plaintiff when you said they can't do this nor can they do that, or they can't do that, or they can't do that. Remember, you wasn't the plaintiff when you said that. You were the defendant when you said that. So since you're now the defendant when you're making those claims, now you have an uphill battle. Why do you have an uphill battle? Because the uphill battle is this: you already agreed that they can take possession of the property when you don't pay. So when you're being sued for non-payment and they come repossess the vehicle, they are repossessing the vehicle based on the contract you signed. They're not repossessing the vehicle because they're just trying to get more money out of you. As a matter of fact, as we'll get into in the Supreme Elite Team University, corporations don't even view the contract the way consumers view the contract. And we went over the 5 different lenses of the contract. And that right there is the most important thing. And this is why I still have people that are reaching out to me privately. It's never public. They'll never come up live and say, eh. So what I think I got down pat is when people reach out to me privately and start saying things that I know from a legal standpoint the courts have already rejected, I truly believe now that they are just reacting to one of my mythbusters, or me saying that it doesn't work this way, or whatever the case may be. I believe that what's really going on, what's really going on is that what I'm saying is going against what they believe is true. So they're not responding from a lawyer standpoint. They're responding from what they believe is true, regardless of if it's true or not. See, it's not about whose truth is correct. Is the Supreme Elite Team really correct what they're saying? And I will answer the question, no. The Supreme Elite Team is not correct in what they're saying. Now, before you want to clip that up and say, "Ooh, I knew he didn't know what he was talking about," here's the context. The reason why I say that the Supreme Elite Team is not correct when it says, like, do they know, like their way of doing things, because it's not the Supreme Elite Team's way. It's actually the legal standard. And you'll notice this legal standard pop up in court cases and rulings, because as soon as the judge gives a synopsis of the claims, whether you're the defendant or the plaintiff, you notice that the judge always says, afterwards is the legal standard. So that they'll go over the facts of the case, or what you believe are the facts of the case, and then the courts apply a legal standard to it. See, the problem with many people out here today is they never want to apply the legal standard to their facts or the elements of their cause of action. They think whatever I say has been fully researched, everything is good, there's no way I should lose. Because many pro se individuals, when they head into court, they're always expecting file a document, case dismiss, respond, judge, see it my way. They never satisfy the elements. They never really state a valid cause of action, and they can never really justify from a legal standpoint why they stop paying on their obligations. See, and I'm so excited for class 2 tonight. I'm so excited. And I just came on here live to let everybody know how excited I am. Want to know how I'm excited? Because 100% you can rest your hat on that everything that I'm teaching in the Supreme Elite Team University, number one, has been vetted by professionals and given the okay by the professionals in this field. Number one, that's always a good thing. And number two, I can honestly say that I practice in real life what I preach. See, I can actually show you results before the class. A lot of other people, there's no results before the class. It's just believe me. And many of them, their results are either third-party text messages or emails. I don't buy any of it, if you want my personal opinion on that. But most people believe that they have a right to stop paying on their obligations whenever they uncovered, what do they call it, fraud. To be honest with you, and you know how you equity people, you know that's another cliche term, equity. I got all the maxims down pat, but never they can quote all the maxims that they read from these online groups, but they can never apply those maxims in a legal setting, because a maxim does not override the court rules and procedures. Your trust law books that you're reading are not the federal rules or the state rules of civil procedure, rules of evidence. They're not that. Now, they give more insight and understanding on how trust law is applied, but I notice that everybody wants to keep reading from books and reading from documents, but what they never tend to ever want to do is read from actual court cases that are authoritative and are valid. Now, the problem with that is many people misinterpret what they think they're reading. Many people do it every day. And guess what? It's not uncommon, because when you are narrow-minded and you're so focused on one singular outcome, and that is mainly getting out of the obligation, when you're so consumed with getting out the obligation while still keeping the property, you kind of take a path that doesn't lead you to other options. You're down on one road, so it's either you win it all or you lose it all. See, with SETU, we have plenty of options. We don't just take one course of action. We don't just cite one legal cause of action. What we really do is we cite at least 10 or 15 legal causes of actions with between 25 and 30 different case laws from state court or federal court to support our legal causes of actions, and the case laws that we're citing to support our legal causes of action are all authoritative case laws, binding opinions. Now, many people out there, they struggle to even cite one case, let alone 25 to 30 different cases that are all similar, that are all authoritative, and they all align with the facts and circumstances of your case, regardless if you're taken from a insurance case. See, I can take an insurance case and apply it to me. I can take a simple consumer transaction case and apply it to me. And we can take a corporate finance case and apply it to me, because most people do not know how to read case law and interpret the inner meanings of case law, because most people go to school to know how to do that. See, there's even an art to research. See, what many people think research is what they're doing out there today is research. No, it's not research. What you're doing is you're forming legal conclusions. This is why night in and night out, day in and day out, many people misinterpret what they read, because they don't have foresight to understand the word context. Everything is a literal interpretation. Like, let's ask ourselves this question: how can you bomb 28 USC 3002? Like, how can you bomb on that? Like, how could you ever believe that that's what it really meant, when chapter 176 clearly states debt collection procedure? So right there, like, even that part. But you know what they do? They'll take section 3002. They'll look at the heading, chapter 176. They'll look at the heading, and then they'll disregard the heading. So it's like this: they'll take a sentence from this case that may align with what their belief is, and they'll take that one sentence from the case without reading the context, and then take that one sentence and be like, all right, this is the law based off this one sentence. And this is why these case law research people, when many of them cite case law to support their actions, it's always cases that are 100 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with their subject case at hand. If I'm gonna give you some free advice, I'm gonna help you. If you want to stop paying on your auto or your mortgage for legitimate purposes, I have to throw that disclaimer out there, because I don't want people to start thinking, let me just get this contract, then I'll just stop paying. Now, if you're going to get the contract first, please have some intent on paying it for the foreseeable future. Cool. But if you choose to stop paying on your financial obligations, the moment you make that decision to stop paying, that means you've already done your research. You've already got your lawsuit ready. You've already got your exhibits together. You understand the rules of evidence. You understand the rules of procedure. You understand the threshold. You understand Rule 8A and Rule 9B. You understand that when you file this complaint, you're in the right venue. And you understand that it's going to survive a Rule 12B6 motion. Now, when you decide to stop paying, I hope that you already have that down pat. I hope you're not just not paying and then start sending them documents trying to explain why you're not paying. I hope you're not doing that. Because when I stopped paying, July 1st, the lawsuit followed. And I'm an outlier. I'm not expecting everybody to do like what I did. I mean, many people are not going to stop collecting on your account just before you even file the lawsuit or before there was an order for them to cease. Like, many people are not going to get their finance companies, especially a company like Credit Acceptance, to just stop on their own because of the documents you sent was so powerful and you got them caught up in the pickle. I'm not expecting that for many people because I have enough wisdom and discernment to understand that this space is full of many people who needs more years of studying before they're doing the things that they're doing right now. I understand that most people don't want to believe me, don't want to agree with me because they're so used to everything's going to be quick, fast, 30 days. They don't understand the time that it takes. They don't understand everything that goes along with this. And this is why I'm going to stand behind my saying. If 98% of people really understood what it took to get victories in these spaces, the hard work that goes into it, the preparations, the discipline it takes, not to just jump down the rabbit hole that looks pleasing to you, not falling for the lies, not reading the script, or not having a mindset that I'll be able to hide behind this document because this person's expertise is going to get the case dropped. Even if you get documents from someone, cool. It's still your job to be able to at least understand what you're sending. Many people will buy documents, send them in, get a response, don't know what to do. So that's still going back to the mindset of the person, that's doing these things. Just look at the mindset. In the professional world, we would never do that. We would never send a document out that we don't fully understand or can't defend. But when I say, if you can't defend, don't send. Remember I always say that. If you can't defend, don't send. And this is what SETU I think it's going to be one of the best things because everybody's coming back to reality. Everybody understands what's going on, but you're not understanding this system from a consumer standpoint. You're now understanding the system from a court legal standpoint, corporate finance company standpoint, regulatory agency standpoint, and the investor standpoint. And I know a lot of people don't believe me because all they have is their FDCPA and TILA claims and their credit card debt disputes. They won't dare step up into like a mortgage or defend mortgage. But I'll take that back because they actually do defend people in their mortgages. And what people don't understand what mortgages can run on for like a year or two. The case. Okay, so let's go. This let me say June, like April, May of last year, we're approaching a year in my client's UWM case. A year. Do you realize that that's a long time to still be in the fight? Like that is great news because many of your teachers, they were already filed summary judgment and won on the merits against your social media gurus. And just because they're all telling you they're winning mortgages doesn't mean they're winning mortgages. And the reality is, if they were winning so many mortgages like that, it would be evident. What's really going on is foreclosures were at an all-time high last quarter compared to the 2008 recession. Interest rates were kind of ticking on the rise, but they seem to be decreasing, dropping down. Repossessions was at a high. Seen an uptick in repossessions. You've seen an uptick in credit card debts. So, and this, we only represent a small percentage. Well, for context, I'm gonna say we and everybody that's in the space as a whole. But the other people outside of us and other professionals and other like-minded people, we actually represent 0.01% of pro se consumers. Now we are very rare. We're very rare. And I don't think people appreciate how rare it is from a pro se standpoint to take down multi-billion-dollar corporations and kind of do it like it's borderline and effortlessly. I just had a phone call with a client yesterday telling me how she been writing the social media gurus teachers. She said, now I'm at the 11th hour and I haven't gotten any closer than when I started. And her reality is the reality of many people in these spaces. They may not say it out in public, but they damn sure say it to me in my email. They try this. Prime example, this one individual, she was doing her mortgage. I seen the document. She asked me not to show the document. She was a little scared. She didn't want the girl to, do stuff too, because that's what a lot of these teachers do. When you make them mad, they start to dox you. They start doing all crazy stuff, take your social security. They do a bunch of crazy. There's no actual behind the scenes professionalism with them. So what she did was she's filing notice to principal, notice to agent, I got the document actually in my tab right now, all sovereign citizen lingo. And then she was paying this person for it. So then when she kept going back to her saying all the stuff she's typing up for is being rejected. Now, what do these sovereign citizen teachers do? Because I don't care what you say, 99% of so-called teachers online have a sovereign citizen foundation. And it's going to come out in moments when there's pressure, moments when there's adversity, because she did what the classic sovereign citizen would do when they don't get the intended results off the break. What did she file? Oh, now let's go after the judge now. File for the bond. Go after the oath of office. I want to see your oath of office and bond. That is a hallmark of a sovereign citizen, undisciplined so-called teacher. When you don't get what you want, now you want to declare the judgment voided. Everybody that I've talked to on TikTok or been on panels or been in a chat on TikTok, everybody that said that, oh, I just filed a lawsuit against the judge, oh, my case just got dismissed today, I immediately put them in the sovereign citizen bucket. And no matter what, every time I start asking questions, they all say the same thing. The judgment was void. I said, well, how did the judge void it itself? No, by the Constitution. See, they automatically think that they determine when a judgment is void, or they committed fraud, or they issued a ruling against them they weren't supposed to. They're suing the judge. Every time you hear someone suing the judge, sovereign citizen, inexperienced, undisciplined teacher or student or individual. When you hear people suing the judge, you only see that from sovereign citizens. You never see that from lawyers. You never see that from the government. You never see that because they're way more disciplined and way more smarter, and they understand that judges and lawyers in the performance of their duties generally have judicial immunity. And this one lady's case where she sued the judge, they never even responded. I said, ma'am, you're suing a judge. You don't think that their lawyers don't know the law? But for them, their biggest issue is they don't know how to understand that the law is just the law, and that is what it is. Your version of what you think the law is has nothing to do with how the courts interpret and enforce the laws. So instead of trying to fight for your own little rights, what you need to be doing is lining yourself up to be on the right side of the law, where your interpretation of the law is the same as other judges have consistently interpreted, because their interpretations are the ones that matter, not yours or not mine. And this is why you see people lose in court every day, regardless of the fact if they want to come online and say they win, or block off the case information so you can't research the case, or hide their losses, or show you what they just filed in court 3 months ago, but you never hear any finality, and it just wipes away. That's how you know when they lost. They let you know, because they always let you know what they just filed or about to file. They never let you know the other side's response, like what I do. It's only what they filed. But you want to know when it doesn't work or it got dismissed, because they'll talk about it and then you'll never hear them talk about it again. April Lejeune, TikTok, October 25th, 2025. She had a case removed to federal court. It's now in February, going into March, never made a post about it again. You see what I'm saying? Oh, they would love to show you if they won. I mean, they so eager to tell people, like, show people they know what they're talking about. They'll take a technicality win and act like they won on the merits. They'll stretch it. Now, I ain't talking about you, Tippis Marie, the lawsuit response. Now, I ain't talking about you, girl. Nah, I ain't look up the case. I didn't find out that the case really got dismissed for warrant of prosecution, not because of the merits of your defense. Nah, I ain't talking about that, girl. Don't worry about it. I ain't talking about you. And so when someone like me comes around, many people are triggered and feel threatened. They're threatened because I know how to pull the cloak and the mask right up off them. But they need that mask to stay on for the people who's paying attention to them. The only reason why people are going to follow 98% of the people in these spaces is if you think like them. That's the only reason why they're following them. Many people are low-hanging fruits. They're never going to follow you based on how the law is applied, your measurable results, measurable outcomes, your interpretation of the law, your own confirmation what the law says, and who has an objective point of view on what the law is. Do I agree with the law all the time? No. There's like 5,000 different things I wish they would change with the court rules. Makes no sense. Yeah, but I'm not going to waste time on it because it doesn't matter what I say. I don't make the rules. I just follow protocol. Anybody guaranteeing 100% wins, that's another red flag. Nobody, it's unethical even for a lawyer to guarantee a particular outcome in a case because it can go either way. You don't know unless you have the final opinion from the judge or you settle your case. Okay? Those are the only two things that is going to boil down to. But once again, 2026, we are off to a blazing start. 2026, we're off to a blazing start. We are off to a blazing start. Wow. I mean, I really don't know what's going on with a lot of them, but the few that I keep my eye on, they're still stuck in the mud from 2025. They are still stuck deep in the mud. That old Alabama mud, you know, when it rains and you get the wheels get to spinning, you try and get out of it, just stuck. One wheel spin, the other one's stays, you know, the same. That's where they're at, stuck in the mud. But they're still going to tell you they know how to deal with mortgages. They still going to tell you they know how to deal with auto finance. They still going to tell you that they're accounting experts. They still going to tell you they know how to file lawsuits. They still got packages to sell. They still got courses to sell, which do your thing. They're going to do that. That's expected. But for you so-called students and clients, do not be surprised by the outcomes. Just don't be surprised. Don't hit people's emails explaining how you got scammed when you should have been using common sense, knowing what they were promising doesn't even make sense anyway. And I get their documents. Every client of mine sends me documents from these people who they went to before. It's all the same sovereign citizen lingo. I got emails saved from the past like 3 years, everything. Even some of the stuff I was showing, like the Bureau of Fiscal Service. Remember, it had the green stuff blocked out the other day when the Fiscal Service said this is that sovereign citizen scam. There's no account associated with your birth certificate and social security number. If you continue to pursue this, you'll be referred to the Treasury Inspector General. This case is closed. Basically saying we don't want to see this from you again. That came from someone who was teaching a group on how to redeem your equity and your securities from your birth certificate and social security card. So when they do it and they come back with the response, it's like the teacher either disappears or blocks them or removes them from the group. Now that group has been shut down for obvious reasons. But look at that mindset of the teacher. Oh, I believe that there's millions. I'm going to show people how to do it because I know what I'm talking about. Not because I've been successful. It's not like, yo, teacher said you, everything that we teaching is going to be based on law, fact, case law, accounting, top professionals. Oh, by the way, I utilize this in my own case as well. Nah. See, you're not going to really get that from them. So you got a teacher that falsely, incorrectly asserts that there's money in our birth certificate and Social Security, selling that same belief to other people who either are ignorant to what's going on or in financial vulnerable positions. Like, let's come on, we're not childs here. You do realize that only people that fall for that birth certificate stuff are people that are in vulnerable financial positions. You do know that. Just like the same people that send negotiable instruments on their account after they 2 months late, the third month they send a negotiable instrument, they just found a class that taught them that. Now it's not, 98% of these processes are only done out of necessity. And many people just had the money to pay, they would just pay. Or wanted to, or disciplined and responsible, that would be, on display. So let's not act like people are trying to get their rights back or asserting their rights. It's really just to use a pseudo legal loophole to avoid accountability, to avoid paying a debt. That's all this really is, y'all. We're not going to act like it. But the difference between the Supreme Elite team and everybody else is when I stop paying, I still keep the vehicle. When they stop paying, theirs gets repossessed. See, there's a difference. And the difference is not because I'm better, smarter, and know what I'm talking about. The difference is the application of the law. And maybe it's the understanding of the law versus the ones who gets their stuff repossessed, their lack of understanding of the law. Maybe it's because I really got 14 years in this and really got 22 years of experience in the court. It's really because I know court rules and procedure. I understand that court is 98% of rules and procedure. The other two is the facts of the case. Maybe I actually know how to draft a complaint like a top litigator professional. But see, those are all mitigating factors. And since I'm not a licensed attorney, and so are a lot of these people out here, not licensed attorney, the only way that you can really measure if someone knows what they're talking about outside of that is you have to see the results of their case or what they filed. I had no problem breaking down in detail the results of my case. But many people out here, when it gets down to the results, now you start to see the end around, and the water starts to get muddy. It's always some type of shroud of mystery, or it's always some type of email win or text message win. We did it. So as we embark on night 2 of SETU, everybody's going to be there. Come prepared. Bring your notebooks. This will be a cam down class. You'll have to cam up. But we will be having those as well. Tonight we're going over, this will be the official class 2. Remember last class we had to do class 1 over again because I captured the screen, but I didn't capture the audio. That's been fixed. And tonight we will be breaking down the economic substance. We'll be breaking down all the different level inputs. We'll be breaking down when this event happens, what does this mean from a consumer lens, but what does it really mean from a corporate finance section? Then we're going to be breaking down their internal accounting procedures and measurements. How many people will come online and start spitting out accounting, and they're doing this and it's doing that. See, with SETU, we just don't know accounting on a more highly advanced level. We actually know how to incorporate that in our legal causes of action. See, there's another difference. Many people are going to use accounting as a defense to get out their debt. With us, we know that it's the quickest way for you to lose. So what's the law about accounting for? Well, if you were just studying and want to learn about accounting just to get out of a debt, you've already lost the war. You've already lost the war. In fact, many people have already lost the war already. They're just fighting meaningless battles. No, they've already lost the war. They've been around for like some people, I get a lot of people been here for 3 years, been here for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And what I try to tell people is your first introduction into this space, who you choose to follow and take advice from, is going to lay the foundation on how you proceed. That's going to lay, whatever your first introduction into this, that is your mindset. Unless you know how to do a cosmic shift in mindset, you're going to be stuck in that same mindset. And that's why I mean you've already lost the war, because everything that you're going to do after that is going to amount to nothing. It's the equivalent of gum on the bottom of my shoe. Nothing. Dead on arrival processes, meaning you put so much time into it. You get your documents typed up. You got them all ready. You go get your envelopes and you get your certified mail. You know, they love registered mail. You get it all off. You mail it off. You feeling excited. And as soon as it hits their desk, it hits the shredder. They don't even read those 30 pages that you took so much time typing up. And I bet that when you was typing up, you was like, yeah, I got them. You was excited. They didn't even get past the first 2 sentences, because that's all it takes for an attorney to realize whether what you're saying has any legal validity or not. They're not going to read through the whole 30 pages to determine whether you have merits or not. Because one thing about these people, they really don't know how attorneys think. They always talking about, oh, what the attorneys won't tell you, what the attorneys won't tell you, oh, you don't need a bar car. That's their number one problem, not trying to align with attorneys. See, there's another difference. I didn't have that disposition about lawyers because I had some hell of a lawyers before. So my own experience, 22 years dealing with the court system, my own experience already dispelled what they talked about with attorneys. So I said, you know what? I know that I'm a master researcher. I know that my investigative skills are impeccable, but I do know that I've never worked on the other side. And I know there's always multiple sides to this coin. So instead of acting like I know it all and I can do it all, I treated this just like anywhere else where you want to make it to the top in the world. Sometimes it's more about who you know, timing, and opportunity, seizing the moment, than your skills. I just so happen to be connected to someone who's connected to people who are connected to people. That's, people call that luck. Right place, right time, perfect opportunity. So once I saw I had that, I just capitalized off it. Because how am I going to start arguing against these people, going to the courts for redress, stepping into their world, and not know how they played the game? And this is where that sovereign citizen mindset really holds people back, because they've already created the enemy in their mind. The lawyers are your enemies. The judges are the enemies. Anybody who doesn't agree with their beliefs are the enemy. How can you get far when you're making more enemies than you are allies? Who would even want to sit down and talk to you when every time you hear something you don't want to hear, you start to get combative? And this is why I build allies with professionals. So I build allies with professionals, people who's work behind the scenes, people who's understand how the system works from their corporate lens. See, I understand how the system works. But the thing about what helped me increase that understanding, well, I got a bird's eye view on how they look at these things, how they see these things, how they understand these things to be. Because when you step into their world, you got to understand one thing. It's a set process that all of them do. You're not going to change it. But everybody want to be debt free. Everybody want to get out their obligations. You know, the easiest way to get out of it is to pay it, but you don't want to pay it. So now you got to learn the game. The problem is many people are too impatient, got ants in their pants to even get 10% of this down pat. And then they'll find themselves spending more money for in exchange for more things to do, pieces of worthless papers. But if you look down at their feet, what real foundation are they even establishing? 98% of the people are in these spaces right now who's been here for like 3 years or more still don't have a real authoritative and a proper foundation. So they're just moving throughout these spaces with no foundation. See, you can sound like you're knowledgeable. You can sound like you know what you're talking about online, or you can always sound like that. But your lack of foundation and understanding is always going to be there. And the only way that a person's lack of understanding and foundation won't be exposed is if they're amongst other people who lack the same foundation and understanding. But when they run across people who has a solid understanding and foundation of this corporate system in a whole, it's going to be evident within the first few minutes that the person who sounds like they're so knowledgeable really doesn't understand how this works. And that is 98% of your teachers today. They thought that they can just increase knowledge and relay what's going on. You notice how they always tell you what's going on in the post? You ever noticed that? They're always telling you what's going on. Oh, they're doing this. It's like some type of expose. Oh, they're doing this, and they're doing this. Then how do we got to pay? But you want to know what they never do is, okay, they're doing this. All right. But from a legal standpoint, this is how the courts actually view it. Okay, so in a corporate standpoint, their contracts is viewed like this. See, from the consumer side, if we understand how the courts view it and how the corporations view it and how the investors view it, then we can really hammer them on the consumer side. Oh, by the way, let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, see, so you see my lawsuit here, and then you see their response here, and then you see, that's not when they don't ever think. Want to know why? Because they don't have enough foundation understanding to be able to get that far into it. Everybody is surface level at best. Like many people didn't even know at least 15 different transactions exist inside of a simple securitization. They didn't even know it exists. But 4 of which are important to us. See, what they're not going to tell you with securitizations, you got to understand multiple different transactions that are taking place at the same time before you even get to your side of it. See, you're making it too hard again, Thomas. This is why I hate listening to you. You always make it seem like it's just so hard. No, I'm not. Just do a backtrack of all the things that you sent in, all the documents that you sent in. Use your own real life as an example. Have you been receiving the outcomes you want in your way? No. There you have it. You really think they're going to give you proceeds from the securitization? Nope. You really think that this is going to let you live in luxury for the rest of your life? Nope. When the reality sets in, projection becomes evident. See, they could project on me all day. They could project on everybody else. But you know what they can't project on? The courts. They can't project on the courts. They can't project on the judge. They can't project on the finance company. They can't project on these regulatory agencies. But these are the same people that's still going to use securitization as a legal defense in fighting a mortgage, when courts overwhelmingly reject that. Because when you're dealing with securitization and mortgages, now you're stepping to the trust side. I thought remember they always talk about trust law. Go set up your trust. Go set up your trust and do this with the trust. But if you knew trust law so much, then why are you trying to enforce an obligation that you're not a party to? Why are you trying to enforce a defect in this trust when you're not a beneficiary of it? Oh, let me guess, you're going to use that one case from Phyllis Horst and say, oh, she's a third-party beneficiary, which every Alabama court has rejected that notion ever since. She was the one outlier. She was the one who slipped away. Good, kudos for her. It's not going to be your reality. See, now, Thomas, you're starting to kill our hope. Now, you see, that I don't like when you say that, because this is all I've been studying. This is what I believe. You're going to stop telling me everything that I'm studying is wrong. What about you? What about you? I don't care that you got phone calls with lawyers. I don't care that the lawyer said you played a major role in your own settlement. Okay. Anybody can do that. Yep, they can do that. Call the lawyer up and be like, hey, man, good job, man. That was a good one. Oh, yeah, these pro se oh, they could. It happens all day online. No, they're not calling the servicing company after they already repoed their stuff, complaining and fighting and being combative online. No, they're not doing that. They're talking about, hey, man, good thing we got this settlement done. Yeah, man, appreciate your hard work. Nah, man, I appreciate your hard work, man. You played a bigger role than what you think, man. Yeah, good job. Oh, no. Everybody doing that. Yeah, what? A high-ranking SEC attorney praising you, reading your stuff, man. Anybody, we can all get that done. A CPA? Oh, shit, we all got that same phantom CPA. Yeah, this document has been approved by the CPA. Never see him, never know nothing. Now, they was doing that about 2-3 years ago. Everybody had that same phantom CPA. Where's your professional contacts at? I thought y'all knew the system. I thought, the teachers, they knew the system, right? If you know the system, then you should be on par with the lawyers. You should be able to speak their language with ease. That's what I thought. Maybe my expectation level is just too high. Maybe I just need to come to grasp that people are just not on the level that it would take to be successful. I think that's just it. They're not on the level. And since they're not on the level, it just leaves everything open to, believe me, I know the right way. When you have to look at a person's followers and views to see if they know what they're talking about, you are already have lost. As a matter of fact, for many people, the right way to go, I'm talking about the real right way that's recognized in court, they don't even know exists.
Empire Talk, Boardroom Aura, New culture. We set order. Thomas in the lobby. Folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine line. Supreme elate, circle around the table, every seated throne. Consumer finance in his bloodstream, built it from a student loan. He can read a balance sheet like a judge retone. See the trap in every clause before the ink is dried on. They sell dreams on installments, he just ordered the spell. Break a predatory scheme down to decimal hell. Securitization flow, turn a contract to a bond chain. He can trace the money trail backwards in a rainstorm. Same lane, receipts in a briefcase, dates, times, bank names. You bring vibes to the courtroom, he bring numbers in case names. Supreme elite, we don't speak, we fight. He got receipts line by line, no smile. In the dark where they hide those fees, we light up the fee sheet, breathe with these. Supreme elite, we don't speak, we file. He got receipts line by line, no smile. In the dark where they hide those fees, we light up the fee sheet, breathe with these. He seen lenders flip scripts, turn a whip to a shackle. Interest climbing every month to your paycheck battle. But he peeled back price and APR under the mask. See the spread versus the funding, who's skimming off the past. He no chalk off, roll rates, lost curves in his sleep. How they package up defaults and sell pain on Wall Street. He cross-check statements with the filings in the forecast. Find a misstep and turn one comma to a court clash. Consumer on the stand, heart racing in the cheap suit. He translate legalese, the plain talk, clean truth. Litigation in his left hand, excel in his right. Tell the judge what the bank did, cell by cell, line by line. Supreme elite, we don't speak, we fight. He got receipts line by line, no smile. In the dark where they hide those fees, we light up the fee sheet, breathe with ease. Supreme elite, we don't speak, we file. He got receipts line by line, no smile. In the dark where they hide those fees, we light up the fee sheet, breathe with ease. They move in the margins, he read in between. They hide it in footnotes, he pull it on screen. From the boroughs to the boardroom, same concrete. Thomas built a whole empire off one word, receipt. C-Pay vision, JD rhythm in his cadence. Double check the debits, then dismantle all the plaintiffs. Underrated models, he can see where they cheat. Assumptions too rosy on a loss rate sheet. Dockets on the desk, he align them like a chessboard. Case law, cash flows, every step next court. Supreme elite follow, blueprints not gossip, they talk bag. He talk tax, keep profit, new culture empire. This is financial defense, teaching credit as a weapon, not a lifelong sentence. From credit acceptance battles to the hallways of appeal, Thomas turned every closed door to a signed, sealed deal. Supreme elite, we don't speak, we file. He got receipts line by line, no smile. In the dark where they hide those fees, we light up the fee sheet, breathe with ease. Supreme elite, we don't speak, we file. He got receipts line by line, no smile. In the dark where they hide those fees, we light up the fee sheet, breathe with ease.
You're rocking with the best.
Run it in bang. Whipping up heat, got sauce in my hand. She rolling the dice, got luck in that van. Smoking that leaf, going global stand. On my wrist like a stage, they can't claim. You look like you wanna let go straight. What's up? I thought so, okay. I'm back in the symphony, stuck on the band. What's up? I thought so, okay. Running it bang. Whipping up heat, got sauce in my hand. She rolling the dice, got luck in that van. Smoking that leaf, going global band. It's bang. Fresh white tee, chrome on the rim. Big body slide, whole block look slim. Wrist on chill, but the boy too hot. Turn my last L to a key to the spot. Plug on the phone, say let's slide. Came from the back, now we front row live. Couch full of cash, can't sit, can't fold. Used to pray for a play, now it's overload. Run it back, bang. Whipping up heat, got sauce in my hand. She rolling the dice, got luck in that van. Smoking that leaf, going global. Ooh, expand. Blue. Shorty too thick, attitude too. Say she want a boss, not a boy in the crew. Stamp my name on the side of her glass. Says she feel safe when I'm hitting the gas. Mama in the crib, fridge stay packed. All them long nights, put food in the stack. Talk about stay down, I really did that. From the floor to the fourth type check. Had nothing but hope in the half tank. Now it's 10 toes down, all gas. No thanks, till they cross that line, that's a bad move. We don't double back, we just improve.
You're rocking with the
Run it up, run it up, running mid-range. Whipping up heat, got sauce in my hand. She rolling the I got looking at that. Smoking that leaf, going global. Expand.
You're rocking with the best.
You said mortgages are your specialty. The short answer to that question is yes. The long answer to that question is mortgages, autos, credit cards, debt buyers, state court, federal court, bankruptcy, lawsuits are all my specialty when it comes to consumer financial litigation. Now, one thing about that is I don't do sovereign citizen. I don't do quick, hurry up, get me out this debt. Court is a own monster within itself. Court is not file this when. Court is not what many people think it is. Court takes a lot of understanding. Court takes a lot of understanding of nuances. Court takes a lot of ability to time things right, structure complaints correctly, make legally sound arguments, being able to foreclose the other side's response before they even get a chance to do so. Court takes discipline. Court takes understanding of the court rules and the procedure first. That's number one. Why you're in court is number two. The facts of your case. So, to answer your question, mortgages has always been my specialty. And every client, mortgage, will understand that as well. We'll work together, frequent phone calls, getting your arguments together, your in-court arguments. And that doesn't mean you take your motion and start reading it into the record. That means you argue the key core elements of your case. We prepare you for that. But mortgages or any service is not, okay, here's the money. I pay you. Now, okay, the documents together. All right, I just file them now. No, for the other person, because here's another thing. When you're dealing with court, you actually got to go in there. So it's not just hide behind my documents. You got to put some skin in the game too. See, the hard part gets done for you. But you got to know what you're sending to them. At least have just a vague understanding. Because what you don't want to do is have those motions filed on file, and then you get in court and they're starting to see, hold on, you really don't have a clue what's going on. No, you gotta stand behind what's being filed. It's like you're not gonna put a bike together without reading the instructions. Same principles in any aspect of life. And many people think that over here in these spaces, the rules of life don't apply anymore. It's like some secret, like, okay, I'm going to pay you to make this disappear. I'm going to just, well, how? How do we make something disappear? You get what I'm saying? It's its own process, its own steps. Court, you win court in stages. See, at least with me, you'll be right there at the finish line. All these other gurus, as soon as they file a response for you, they're gonna move for summary judgment. Because I had a client yesterday that's exactly the stage that she's at right now, summary judgment, because of all the other stuff these teachers was filing for, getting stricken down. So I hope that answers your question fully. But even more, in which we about to get into.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby, folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine lines.
All right, y'all. I got to get over to the other side. Got to get to there. And just in case you're still around, GGK6432.
According to your conversation with your friend, the attorney, what we go over in group is right in line with the legal standards and the professionalism on how it has to look and what you need to know when you attack these people.
The words that he used was, you're going about it standard operating procedures.